Some investors are starting to question the high valuations of AI stocks, and it's poor timing as the industry spends billions to build out that infrastructure. These data centers rely heavily on critical minerals, and the U.S. is facing a shortage, with China limiting the export of resources like silver. One company is recovering these critical minerals from solar panels at the end of their lifespan. We Recycle Solar breaks the panels down to collect their silver, aluminum, copper, and silicon. Adam Saghei is the company's founder and CEO, and he joins us now. Adam, thanks for being with us. Now, look, I've read about the process of recycling here. It's very intensive and in some cases money losing. So why do it?
Yep. Thank you for having me, Paula. Very excited to be here. Well, one of the things that drove us to do this was we saw a huge need, a gap within the U.S. supply chain. As you mentioned, with silver on the rise at approximately 70% increase in pricing, what we've noticed is the person that holds the stockpile of silver is China. They control about 70% of that supply chain. And as we saw in January, some of the policies that came out of Beijing directed the rest of the world that they were not going to send this material off to other countries. So much so that even sulfuric acid was banned from export, which is critical in the mining sector. But as we look to mining and we look to the build out of this new technology that's growing and pacing much faster than we've expected, we're seeing a $1.9 billion market that's arriving, and the infrastructure to handle it doesn't exist yet. Well, as you know, the AI race and AI itself runs on silver. Without silver, there is no AI. And as we look at the consumption of silver in the world, in 2025, we saw that the US and China together consumed more than 50% of the global mining supply of silver for data centers, rather. And so as you look at the sheer demand, the next question is, what will it require in the next 10 years? And we're looking at a 42,000 ton silver need that will need to happen. Now, as silver is a great conductive material, everything within that data center, from connection points, circuit boards, high-speed switches, they require this type of material. But if we look outside even AI, which solar, the health sector, defense, there's a lot more to it. And that is due to high industrial consumption, stagnant mine production, new foreign export restrictions, as we mentioned before.
I hear you on the critical minerals. We don't have a lot of time, but I do want to get to this issue of the solar panels themselves, because I had learned through reading about your company that the earliest generations of these panels will be obsolete, and you don't want them to be in landfills.
Absolutely. So as we're seeing 10% end up there, we also see an opportunity. There's about $2.4 billion of critical material in these panels. And as we look at the over close to 500 gigawatts of material that's been deployed in the US, there's 20 grams of silver in each panel. Now, luckily, the technology has advanced to a place where we can extract all of these materials in a small footprint without any subsidies, and addressing both issues. We can be the feedstock to this build out for these data centers by extracting these critical materials right here in the US.
Understood. Okay, and we'll see how your company scales up, especially as these panels become obsolete. Adam, thanks so much. Appreciate you joining us.